Hello, now it's working. Yes. All right. Hey, welcome Iryna to this is the first season of the Solovey podcast coming up, and the whole idea is to explore a little bit the culture of Ukraine, I would say, because the whole idea of Solovey music is to think about like how do we in Finland, for instance, would understand what does it actually mean what does Ukraine actually mean, and what does life in Ukraine means, and the main idea to convey the message through songs. But there's also humans over here in Ukraine, and not only songs. And the idea of this one is to have a conversation with some people of Ukraine. And obviously, Iryna, you are like my favorite person in Ukraine. So first things first, welcome to the Solovey podcast.
Thank you for inviting. That's a unique podcast. So many people are doing podcasts related to business, related to some growth or psychology, but I think that's the first podcast I hear about. It is about music and culture and how to transmit our culture to your culture and vice versa.
Yeah. It's a very challenging topic. It's not the easiest one to go for, but it doesn't hurt to try. So, but before we go to some of the topics, tell us, Iryna, so what are you doing in Ukraine? What's your thing?
So I'm a startup founder, and I founded Bank of Memories together with my husband. That's called, that's a family platform that is helping to preserve the most important memories, voice, some pictures, videos, medical data. So that's a startup that is helping to preserve, analyze your life and your family member's life and pass it on to the future. That's how we started. But then we realized that culture is also important, and we got a lot of cultural institutions around Ukraine talking to us that they want to preserve what they already have, what artifacts they have. They wanted to preserve in digital with Bank of Memories. We thought, then maybe it's not only for like families, it can be also for institutions, for those who care about something and they don't want to lose it.
Yeah. The memories is all we have about, it's kind of like in our brain, and many of the culture things are actually the source for our memories. The buildings, the traditions, the songs, paintings, everything like that. So, of course, like the Bank of Memories is very close to Solovey things, because like the songs are also part of the memory.
Culture, yes.
Yeah, so can you also tell a little bit, you have a project with government right now about this very, very close to the situation in Ukraine right now.
Yes, when the full-scale invasion started, we showed again our mini movie about a person who died in a military conflict. We made it first for my husband's mom because she passed away, so we wanted to preserve memory about her. We made this movie, we showed it to people, and they said, okay, it's not very interesting that time. But then we did the same movie for a person who died fighting for Ukrainian freedom in Donetsk. And we installed a memory, the installation where we have the, memory board. And you can scan the board and you can directly see the movie about the person. That time, again, people didn't like it. Can you imagine? People say, oh, there is no war here in Kiev. War is in Donetsk and Luhansk, not here. And we were so upset. But then when full-scale invasion started, we showed again this movie and we said, what do you think now? Maybe now you need it. And our government and different institutions, schools, they suddenly realized that something we did before, it's valuable to preserve culture, memory, some facts that happened in the past, and even if it's happened like 3 months ago and person died in military conflict, a lot of memories will be lost. According to statistics and my research, around 85% of everything, including voice, video, some documents will be lost. That's why we are making these movies, and that's already becoming a tradition, a modern cultural tradition to commemorate people in this digital way, not only the way where we have a physical object to commemorate.
Yes.
So it's quite popular right now, and it's the main activity right now. We have two products, so the Bank of Memories app, which will be relaunched this summer, and we have also this digital memorials feature for government.
Got it. Yes, and for the listeners, so Iryna was actually in Finland in mid-August to give a presentation about these things, and really that the things. Ooh, wind. Good. The things that you said over there was really emotional and things. But many of people that when I left from Finland to Ukraine, they said, how is it in Ukraine? How is Ukraine? How is it doing? And so I have to ask the question: how is life in Ukraine nowadays, from your point of view? How is it here? Sunny, at least.
Yes, it's sunny. I think the only negative thing is that we got used to it. And of course, in normal reality of people around the world, war is not okay. It should not be here. It should be stopped. But no one can stop it. Even people who say they're most powerful in the world, they cannot stop it. And of course, people are tired. The most talented programmers, they are trying to book, so we can call it booking of the person, so that they're not going directly to fight, because they can give more value if they are writing the code or fighting misinformation from Russia and their propaganda. So most programmers are trying to book themselves not to go fighting, and for us, we need to balance somehow so that not all men go fight, because then who will lead our economy? Already a lot of women, I think over 50% of new businesses were set up by women this year and last year, but we need to somehow keep the balance where women and men work together, not that everybody is there.
Yeah, that's that. Your comments actually lead us to think about the culture over here. What is amazing is the spirit that people are having, even though you get used to it and the whole thing. But it's inspiration for the rest of the Europe in many ways. But so let's talk about Ukrainian culture a little bit. And we can talk about songs or anything like that. What is your personal kind of like the cultural thing that kind of like tells you that this is Ukraine or art?
Yeah, I think most people would have a grandfather or grandmother from the small city or village. So because Ukraine used to be a lot of small villages and not too many big cities, but now because economy is growing, most people are moving from villages to big cities.
Yeah.
But in my childhood, I have memories that we didn't have electricity. Some evenings, we just didn't have electricity because it was switched off, and then in the morning we got it again. But when the disruptions happened when I was a child, we were singing songs. My grandma was telling us stories about Second World War, about her life, about how she moved from Ukraine to Belarus. She was escaping hunger. So that were all the terrible stories, and but in the end of it, there was always hope and always song. Song related to that hope that everything will be okay in the future.
Yeah.
So we always started by stories. Then she was singing, we were trying to sing too, and then it was like a positive feeling of hope.
Yeah. Do you remember any of these songs?
Yeah, I can. We can actually add it to this podcast. That's how it sounds. It's about the bird. The bird is sorry that it cannot fly high. It's about dreaming. So that was, by the way, not common song for Ukrainian culture, because it was about dreaming big. And that time Soviet was trying to kill the dream.
Yeah.
But still, in home, in the evening, people were thinking this kind of songs about, big ambition, big dream, big family. So it's always positive songs.
Yes.
I can share with you how it sounds in a traditional sound by grandmas.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And grandmas in general are in many societies very wise people, very important people, also highly respected in Finland. Finland as well. And interesting that you tell about this bird thing.
Oh, Solovey, the bird.
Yeah. There's a lot of like birds thing going on in Ukraine. Why you think that is that birds are quite often the symbol of something?
I think because we always have very harsh winter, and it's very, very cold, and that autumn and then winter all together around 7 months, so more than half a year. It used to be cold until global warming. It was cold, and there was nothing outside. People stayed at home, and once spring comes, then birds are coming and they're singing, and people are so happy. Even today, I was in the forest, and I just stand there, and I was recording just nature and the sound of birds. And I think this is related just to happiness that they give us after the cold, and after we are tired of the same cold winter. Although I like winter too, but when it's already too long, then suddenly you realize that, oh, I want something else. And then suddenly birds are coming and singing, and trees are green and blooming. So that's, it's connected, I think, with that mental situation that it's like the happiness is coming. And then previously, Ukraine economy was based on agriculture, and people were ready to plant trees, to plant some food, and then it was growing, so all birds were always there. So maybe that's why that's a symbol of something new, of growth, blooming, and then some yield.
Yeah, I think there's I have to reflect one of the Finnish cultural symbol is one poem, Summer of Lapland, and the whole thing is about swans, that when they leave on fall, so that there's a hope that swans will come back. And swan is a Finnish national bird, very, very important. That there's a very similar idea, but somehow the birds, they can fly like imagination can fly. So
very free. By the way, I would also add here about forests. That I live nearby Kiev, where we have forests, but because some businessmen wanted to create there some kind of cottage city and cut the trees, they were not allowed to do that because of two reasons. First, because people were against, and second, because birds are coming back from winter time back to Ukraine, and Kiev is too big. So to cross the Kiev, they need some place to rest, and that's their place to rest. And people say, because birds need this place to rest, you cannot build anything here.
That's very beautiful. Think about humans making things for birds.
That's really touching.
Yeah, it is. Gunflag also reminds you of some of the people in Finland as well who are preserving the forests for the animals to roam, and we are all together in this one. So what about you talk about the grandmothers, which is very important, and the history. What in today's culture in Ukraine you see as very interesting or makes you curious or inspired?
I am very surprised because I moved to the village 3 years ago, like a little bit more, 3.5. And now when I come back to the big city, I am like asking myself, what am I doing here? Because nature is so great, and in our culture, previously when I was maybe a child until I was 20, the culture was that you should be in the city, you should be studying here, making money here, but after COVID everything has changed, and people got used to online work, and then they ask themselves, why should I be stuck here in the apartment somewhere in this house if I can just buy a house in the village and go there? So we now live in the village, and we have a granny who is our neighbor. She is crazy about gardening. She's always planting tomatoes, different kinds of fruits, vegetables. So once it's already first fruit or vegetable is coming, then we stopped going to the supermarket. We never buy anything from the supermarket. We only go buy from her, eat food that is grown at home. And we also have a little garden. There we also plant some greens, tomatoes. We are planning to plant tomatoes. So that's the culture today is that people are coming back to the village, and they started feeling that this is something stronger here, because when you have connection to the nature, and also we have that kind of a little like old dacha, which is a country house style, no fancy interiors, no fancy furniture. So we are coming back to something that is like basic, normal, and we enjoy that connection to the nature. I know a friend of mine, she is buying very old houses that should be destroyed to build something new on top of that. But she is buying and then making a reconstruction and renovation, but it looks exactly how it looked 100 years ago. And that's a new way how people from the city can feel the culture. By the way, I can invite you there.
Yes.
Feel the culture of an old village, and you go there, you spend time there like at a hotel, but you have to cook on fire. So there is no electricity like we used to have it. So that's really also getting more popular. And she already bought, I think, 5 these little houses, and she has in her business plan around 150 around Ukraine to make it a network of. It's called Babusina Khatka. It's my grandma's house.
Fantastic. This again gets me a lot of most of the people in Finland have a summer cottage, like their own dacha. It's like what we are explaining is like this. But this is my Finnish paradox. So we call it a summer cottage. But last week I was there and it was ice on the lake. So how can you have a summer cottage with ice on the lake? That's a paradox. But that sounds wonderful. I think that says quite a bit about my, as a non-Ukrainian, about Ukrainian culture. There's a lot of, actually, I don't know how to call it. It's like a old new together.
Yes.
Old new together. And if I think about the visual style.
And music too. They're mixing old style with some new sound. But the sense is the same, but the rhythm is a little different, so that younger people can understand.
Yes, and I think that's something very interesting, and I encourage everybody to take a look at the Ukrainian visual style, the photography, illustrators. Probably there will be a lot of movies coming out from here, but also come over here and feel the kind of like the new old at the same time, and I think it's fantastic. So Iryna, you've known the Solovey project for quite a while, and we are now very close. This is like mid-April, and the first single will be out on 9th of May. And so I would be really happy to give you a few of how the songs will look like.
Wow.
But we have the 4 songs now coming, and so what do you think about like Finns making a song of Opimi or Lucy Server, Kalina Server Ruuto? And the 4th one, unfortunately I can't pronounce the name of the 4th song, which is a very long Dnipro thing, Taras Shevchenko. Tak. Yes, so what do you think about the whole idea? Is it like a...
I think, first of all, no one did it before. And secondly, because we are so close neighbors and now we have one enemy that is very, very close to all of us, we need to understand each other better and be friends. Not friends like in diplomatic way, but truly be friends, deeply with Finland and Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, all countries that neighboring us. We need to be a stronger power together, and to be that kind of power, we need to deeply understand what people here are like, what they like, and the same for Ukrainians. For Ukrainians, it's important to understand Finland because it's not far from here, but many people never been there and never understood that you survived war.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad and very hard for the nation. You felt exactly the same what we feel right now. So we have common ground and we have a lot of things in common. But we need to understand deeper than what we see in the internet, what we read. And I think we don't need translation if we just listen to the song.
Yeah.
Listen to the motif and a translation to finish so they understand what the meaning is. But then sometimes people don't even need to understand.
Yes.
They can hear it.
Yes, yes. So so it will be interesting to see how people perceive it, the whole thing. So, but I thank you at this point for the podcast, and we'll take a look at listen to music.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, later on. But hey, Iryna, Savytska, thank you very much for this thing, and let's hope that people find Ukrainian culture as intriguing as I find it in Finland and rest of the Europe as well. So thank you.
I'm sure it will be a knowledge base. I think Solovey music will become a knowledge base for many people in Europe to deeply feel what we are like, and it can grow to other countries too, not only Finland and our neighboring countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.